ain't the perfect shot, but it worked.
No, this ain't the best chair in the building either. Like,
So
man,
yeah, and I don't know. I think it's kind of funny to have two mics in this case because we sitting right next to each other. But in case my mic don't pick up, you know, your stuff, then you got a mic right there. So
right. And I just need my own microphone.
all right,
Anyway.
okay, that's honest. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy CB, aka the Rude Educator, and this is the I Just Got Off Work show on WETF. Today we got a special guest. And young lady, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm going to introduce myself as the Mrs. Charles Barnes. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. So we just put my whole government name out there without putting yours out there at all. So thank you very much for that. So much, I guess everybody now knows what the CB stands for. But anyway, we're here with my lovely wife on this Saturday, April 23rd edition of the I Just Got Off Work show. Because we're going to talk about some shows. And when it comes to watching shows, this is my number one show watching partner right here.
Very dramatic. Very dramatic.
So you know what I'm saying? We were talking about. I mean, we're gonna talk about Snowfall and we're gonna talk about Power, and you know, we was just having a conversation right before it was time for the show. I was like, why don't you just come on the show and we can have this conversation, you know, on WETF? And she agreed, and I've been trying to get on the show anyway since I started the show. So this is, I mean, for me, this is dope as hell. How you feel about it?
I feel great. You know, I'm camera shy, so.
You camera shy, but you ain't no other kind of shy. Yeah, you know, shout out to the people. Shout out to the people that's never shy until you need them to do it for an audience, and then all of a sudden they can't do it. That's who we got with us today. But like I said, you know, now if you haven't seen Power, which the season finale was Sunday, and you haven't seen Snowfall, the season finale was Thursday, and you interested in seeing them and you don't want, you know, them to be spoiled, I suggest you go ahead and turn this off until you are able to watch the show, because what we're doing right now is we're going deep into everything that happened. And since these were season finales, we're going to talk about the season as a whole. So if you planned on watching it and you haven't, then, you know, you're going to have to just, you know, bookmark this and watch it at a later date. Unless you don't mind the spoilers, because we're going to get, you know, real deep into everything that happened. So, which one should we start off with? Should we start with Power or start with... I think we should start with Power.
And we should start with Power. Yeah, I agree. And save the best for last.
Yeah.
Because
even though, I mean, in YouTube terms, you probably should do the best first to keep people watching. But also, we're going to do the worst first to keep people watching to the end to get the good stuff. However you want to do it, however you want to say it. That's what we're about to do right now. So, Okay, so the season finale for Power was Sunday, and this is Power Book 4, uh, Force, which everybody said they should have just called it Tommy. But, I mean, you got Book 2, which is called Ghost. You got Book 3, which is called Kanan. Why would you call Book 4 Force instead of calling it Tommy, since it's about Tommy? But, I guess Tommy maybe is a too plain of a name, or maybe it's too many letters and they was trying to save on the typeface or something like that. I don't know.
Or something.
Let's see. Let's talk about the finale first. Let's talk about what happened in the finale, and then we'll back it up and then talk about the season as a whole. So, Tommy been running around Chicago, doing his thing, trying to take over, but he ran into a little bit of a bump because he been going back with the Flanagan clan anyway. But then this last little incident that happened, what seemed like to be a hit on Vic, ended up killing Gloria, and now Vic wants revenge. Walter been wanting revenge and to kill Tommy, and now they even got Claudia in on it because of everything that's going on. She like family first, and plus her father told her that he wanted to bring her in to advise, and she finally got her seat at the proverbial table. Now, so that's the Flanagan's motivations. What you think about what was going on with the Flanagan clan?
Okay, so I know we are talking about the finale, but I just want to back up just a little bit. Can we incorporate like some of the rest of the season into this finale?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because first off, I just really need somebody to answer the question. How the hell did Tommy end up in Chicago? Off the bat, to me, it was retarded as hell how he arrived in Chicago. First off.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about the fact that when Power, the original Power, ended, Tommy was supposed to be headed to L.A.
Exactly.
And to be working, I can't remember which faction he's supposed to be working with.
Because they called him and asked him where was he.
Right. They was calling him. Right. They was calling him, and he decided to make a pit stop and go see his grandmother, who he hadn't seen since he was a little boy. I stole that from you. Since he was a little boy, and when he went to go check up on his grandmother, it was a lot of stuff going on. Like, dude tried to rob him with a knife.
Right. So that's one.
Right.
And then, so what we're doing is, you asked about the Flanagan family.
Right.
So first off, his arrival to Chicago, I give it a thumbs down, but nobody asked my opinion, first off. Second, how did the brawl start between him and the Flanagans? Look at the cheap ass way it started. He's driving up the street and he parks. Was this not the beginning?
Yep.
All of this shit started because of where he parked in front of this particular club. And this was the reason the beef began between them. Now, looking at Chicago and looking at the background the Flanagans is supposed to have, Tommy would have been dead at the beginning of the show.
I mean, that's fair.
Okay, so then as you move on, as far as my thing is when it come down to Tommy and the meetup with the Flanagans, it was I just don't understand how it went from what it was to what it became.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem with, especially early on in the season, is that everything was like it's always my man Just Creep off TikTok always talk about all these damn coincidences. Why is it always he just happened to roll up on this bar that just happened to be on, or however, whatever the case was, because I think Gloria was trying to buy the bar from them some kind of way, or whatever the case, because she ran the bar. It was her place, but she was giving up money to the Flanagan family. That's the bar that Tommy just happened to roll up on. Not only that, but the chick that owns the bar is also the at this point she's the ex of the heir apparent to the Flanagan clan.
Which is the dots that I'm trying to connect, because you have this bar, you have this woman, and then you have this family that's supposed to be, a drug lord family, and then there's Tommy. So Gloria plays an important part in this. The Flanagan family, they're Irish family. You don't break bonds. She's not true blood for them. So before Tommy even came in the picture, his thing was, you need to get away from her because you love her, you in love with her, you want to take this further. Talking about the son, Vic,
Yeah.
and I need you to get away from her, because she's not of blood. You shouldn't be with her. So it goes from that to, of course, Tommy messing around with her, and then to me, that just played a role into them trying to put it all together, whereas the father putting Vic against Tommy and making it seem like it was Gloria and so on and so forth.
Right.
Or whatever. You can explain this better on where I'm going with this whole thing.
Yeah,
Because
so
that's the beginning of the smash.
yeah, so all this stuff was going. It was already the controversy in the family with Vic being with Gloria is the fact that she's not Irish, right? And so the dad, Walter, wanted to make, he wasn't too fond. He wasn't fond of the relationship at all, and they made that clear from the beginning. And even though Gloria did still have feelings for Vic, she didn't want to deal with that whole controversy, so she left him alone. And Vic was still trying to be with Gloria. He's still checking up on her. Him and his boy went to the bar, and they do that thing. And then so when and we getting deep into the first even episode right now, and we're supposed to be talking about the finale. But long story short, that situation between Tommy and Gloria kind of introduced him to the Flanagan clan. But then what he did behind it was like kind of ridiculous because, but by being involved with Vic, he ended up being involved with CBI also. And that's how he got to know who Diamond was, and him and Diamond kind of saw eye to eye. So they kind of formed an alliance off of what, 10-minute meeting.
Oh my God!
And that's the thing. It's like the
I
way
was
that
like, wait, what?
right, the way that he
like
ran,
that?
the way that he ran into Liliana was some bullshit. Because if you ever been in Chicago, even if you just on the South Side, I mean, the South Side of Chicago, just the South Side, just anything south of 22nd Street, is huge because it runs from 22nd all the way out to the Wild Hunnets. And when it run out to and that's what, 8 miles right there. So kill all of that. You know what I mean? Like,
he hit the streets and the first
right,
person from New York.
Right. The first person he run into in Chicago is somebody that he kind of had beef with from New York. But then the beef kind of disappeared when they see each other because it's like, oh, well, at least we know each other. And, it's ridiculous. So let's get back to the actual finale. Let's reel it back in.
Sorry about that. That was
no, because like I said, we're gonna go over the whole season, but and maybe we might end up being here a little bit longer than normal because we still ain't got the snowfall yet. But the whole thing with this season finale of Power is, like I said, he got everything set up because the world that he's been dealing with in Chicago is kind of coming in on him. He just met his nephew and told him that he was his nephew. He had him working for him. And then as soon as they leave out, the stash spot to get shot. And so now he don't know who's shooting at him. And his nephew got shot, and his brother that he also just found out about is now mad at him, even though they was kind of cool.
Coincidences.
Right, and then so now he mad at him because he didn't tell him that he knew his son, and so all of this stuff is going on, and then who decides to pop up on the scene? But Kate, and Kate pops up. She pops up. She looking through the grandmother's house.
Being Kate.
She looking through her mother's old house, trying to find some money in the wall. She tearing the wall up. And it's funny, when she was doing that, I was thinking to myself, wasn't JP trying to fix the house? Right. And so her coming through and then tearing it up is just exactly what Kate does. You could be trying
she came in being Kate.
Right. They trying to get stuff together, and she come through just tearing it up in the search for what?
Money.
And that's why when Tommy ran into her, the last thing he did was he go a bankroll, because I know that's what you want. And she's talking about she want to meet her son and her grandson and all this kind of stuff. But Tommy ain't really buying it, because he like, you got all this supposed love for them, but I've known you my whole life, and you ain't never had this kind of love for me. So it sounds like hogwash. But he gave her the money, left her with the money, and of course she took it. But she did end up going to the hospital. So that at least, worked out. And, they even got her to stay with Dee or Darnell while they went to go handle some other stuff. Now, we'll get back to that storyline in a second. So, what we also got to talk about
is these three separate beefs. It's literally three separate beefs going on in this whole in the whole scheme of things with this place. It's
so that's Tommy. So that's Tommy and his family. Okay, his brother that he just met, going to check up on his grandmother, and then his nephew, who he also happened to meet because the nephew was working for CBI. And, they got their own thing going on. It got to do with that controversy. So, and I think it was in the last episode, Diamond heard Jannard and Black talking about, fuck Diamond and all this kind of stuff. So Diamond knew that Jannard was, on some bullshit. So when him and his girl was chilling in the barbershop and he got that call asking, saying that they need to parlay, he knew it was about to be some bullshit. So what he do? He tell her that she got to go. They leave the barbershop and they go sit in her car. That's how come they didn't recognize him, because they were sitting in her car. And they roll up. And they rush the barbershop thinking he's gonna be in there, and he watching the whole thing from outside. And the person, who do we recognize but Black? And so when after everything is after they do everything, they rush in. He ain't in there. He take off. Then later on, they showing him he done caught up with Black, and he beating his ass with a bat, got him tied up the whole nine. And he asked him who did it. And, I think that was like the thing with that scene was he knew that it was Jannard already. And like he said, after he beat him.
Because he heard him in the basement.
Right. And so after he beat him, he actually told him, he's like, well, I knew it. I just needed you to say it. And then, he's like, man, you got soft and all this kind of stuff. You don't want to kill nobody. And then he's like, I don't. And he killed him anyway. And that's what, and that right there.
Didn't he say something like, you don't want no more bodies, or you can't get no more, you can't catch no bodies?
Yeah, you don't want to catch no more bodies. And he said, I don't. And he killed him. And I think that was one of the realest moments of the show right there for me, because, real gangsters ain't really, about all that killing, especially when they get older. But at the same time, don't press me like I'm not a killer. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what that scene was about to me. It was kind of like, all this time, Jannard thinking Diamond soft, but the reality is Diamond just know where, you know what I'm saying. He ended up going to jail for a long time behind the stuff that he did, and you got a long time to think about the stuff you did while you sitting in that cell. And so when he got out and he was on something different,
He's
Jannard
making
didn't
better moves.
understand because Jannard ain't never been behind that wall. And Diamond been behind that wall, and he, you know, he still deal with the world, but he doing it a different way. He
So,
doing it in a smarter way.
so to show that he ain't really going, I'm gonna drop this body, but I'm not gonna catch this body because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this body somewhere,
Yeah,
and somebody else
yeah,
gonna have to deal with this body.
yeah,
Who he take the body to?
yeah. And so they showed Jannard pulling up to his crib. He had a nice little crib, you know what I'm saying? Got the Porsche truck and everything. He pulls up, and who's sitting on his dining room table but his
Stretched out.
homie, stretched out on the table, bloody as hell. Uh, and you know that let him. That sent the message. That sent the kind of message you can't send on no chat line, or no.
Right.
You know, you can't send that in no text message. That message was bright as day.
One of the coldest messages. I'm gonna say in the season because the
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
But
And,
anyway,
and so he with that one action, he let Jannard know, I know it was you.
yep.
I ain't soft like you think I am, and you need to, you know what I'm saying. You need to get ready for what's next, because I'm
Right.
coming for you. And
Oh, and dispose of this body, please.
right, right. You get rid
Get
of
rid
it.
of this,
He left the message, right?
Right,
Like you
right.
get rid of it.
Oh, and by the way, because he was calling Black, he was like, "Man, I'm trying to get up with
Right,
you. You ain't responding
right,
because he want to know what happened.
right. He getting
Well,
real
this is what
nervous.
happened.
He getting real nervous because he know what he did, you know. And so that all came to where that came to, and then and so you got the Flanagans,
Flanagans, if you ask me, they got two beefs. The Flanagans have a beef within themselves, period.
right,
Which is why Gloria ended up getting killed because of the beef that they got within themselves. Is him wanting his son to take over, but he want his son to take over the way he want him to take over,
right,
while not, taking this female or this woman that he is in love with. So him being the person that he is, oh, I'm gonna get rid of her. I'm. You know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of her. By the time he put everything in place and set everything up, and did what he did, it was too late for him to turn back. You know what I'm saying? Because I think at some point, and then it could be me, he kind of thought about. I think he had went to the doctor. Anyway, he had almost thought about the love that his son had for Gloria, and
hmm
something had happened, and it made him kind of almost rethink what he had set up.
yeah. Well, he was talking to his homeboy. I can't remember old boy's name. I think it was like his brother-in-law or whatever, the one that was always riding with him and everything. And I think that's that conversation that he was having with him, saying, Walter, you pushing your children away. You think that you bringing them closer, but you really pushing them away. It's those same,
Yeah.
every version of Power got these same family feuds going on in it, and this one ain't no different. They just brought a white family in this time. But the thing about it is that he got a son and a daughter. He treat them totally different. He feel like the son need to take over, and but the son doesn't even really interested in that life, but especially doing it the way his pops want him to. Meanwhile, his daughter,
About it.
who he won't let near the
It's
business,
about that life.
is all about the dirt. So I mean, his thing is that he way too caught up in those olden values. He don't realize that the world has moved on, and they kind of like trying to illustrate that point. But back to the Flanagans. So they had the meeting. They brought in some killers from Ireland or whatever. And Claudia is like, yeah, I got a word. This is the story she tells. I got a word from somebody I know that Dahlia is Tommy's thing, and I know where his lab is at, so we can catch him at his lab. You know what I'm saying? Totally betraying their partnership. And Tommy knew that it was coming because he had cleared the lab out and everything. And so when they came to get him, they were ready. He got two of the Serbs because Tommy made a deal with the Serbs, and now he got them riding with him. So
Don't even ask how. It's
yeah, yeah. In fact, that was one of the first things that they did after he went and got the Serbs was they went to the bar and ambushed one of the Irish guys that came over. So that's how it jumped off. Then they caught up with Tommy at the lab, big shootout. But Vic said he had to go be there, and of course, he fucked up the whole situation. They got him out of there, but they didn't kill Tommy. Obviously, they killed one of the Serbs, but they didn't kill Tommy.
Of course not. He's untouchable.
Right. So Tommy got, he got the new lab hooked up at a new spot. He got Liliana and the doc in there, and they setting stuff up. But then it comes to find out that they are about to come and probably come to that lab too. And so they get out of there. They send the doc away. And lo and behold, while the doc getting all that shit ready to go, because Liliana hooked her up with some cash and everything, so she was about to go lay low. And before that could happen, Claudia rolled up on her, and they got her to give up JP. And so now they got JP kidnapped, and they got to meet. So what do Tommy do? Tommy go and meet up with Diamond. And when he meet up with Diamond, he put it all on the table. Like, I think Jannard done came after me. And Diamond like, yep, Jannard on my case too. We got to deal with that. And then he was like, all right. So they worked out a deal to where they would deal with Jannard and the Irish and the Serbs. All these people, all these factions, all coming together at one time, basically. And they get to the meet with to get JP back. And they got a plan set up. The plan is that Diamond gonna hold Tommy hostage and give him up for Jannard, but then he also gonna let everybody know in the CBI that Jannard trying to take over. So now CBI split, and they talked about that, but he still let Jannard live, right? And then also everybody's secrets coming out at this meet. And we talked about the meet, how in all these shows, it'll be like some construction site or some old warehouse, and everybody just meet up there in all they fancy cars and everything.
How do they get in?
Yeah, how do they get in?
How do they get in, and how are they always the only ones there when they need to be there?
It's always on lock. It's always, all that kind of stuff. So they out at this construction site, and then everybody giving up secrets because now Vic is finally figuring out that Tommy ain't had nothing to do with killing Gloria, of course. And then he figures out that it's his pops. And then Claudia's there, but then Liliana trying to run up on Walter with the strap. Claudia seen her. And so Claudia took, she shot Liliana. And so after all these people getting, all these main characters, I should say, getting shot at, getting held hostage and everything, who's the only one that dies?
L.
Oh, Liliana, probably the most loyal person on the show. Do you ever notice that them the ones that end up dying is the ones that's the most loyal?
And here it is. Tommy ain't even. Did Tommy even get shot once? Even in Power original?
I think he got shot maybe a couple of times. In the process of going through everything. But yeah, I don't remember ever seeing him in the hospital. It's funny.
I'm like, is it because this motherfucker wear a black jacket and a cold ass black jacket and some boots, whereas they don't. I mean, they can't put a stain on them. What?
Yes, that's exactly why. That's exactly why. So, so after everything happened at the meet, The Flanagan family still got some issues to work out. But besides Liliana being dead, Tommy he pretty much in the clear now because he ain't got CBI on his ass no more. He ain't got the Flanagans on his ass no more. The Serbs just dropped him, so they ain't really messing with him. And so, but the deal that Diamond and Jannard made, and we get to the end. But the deal that Diamond and Jannard made was they was gonna split the territory that CBI had left because the deal that Jannard made with the Serbs to get them to back
I
off.
was gonna say he
Tommy
made side deals.
Right, he made a side deal with the Serbs that if he could get the Flanagans to drop their beef, then and he gave them back they territory, they pipeline or whatever they got going on. Then you know what I'm saying, they let him roam free or whatever, and he could do his thing. But all of that stuff don't make not a lick of sense.
It don't work like that.
None of it work like that. But Power is the drug show for people that never been around, the streets. So if it's fantasy drug dealing. But no, let me get back to the point. The point is at the end, so Jannard and Diamond made a deal that they would split their territory. The guys would want to go with one, go with the other, and all this kind of stuff. And then they got it on the map, and Diamond looking, he got his little territory circle, and then Tommy trying to encourage him was like, yeah, but it's yours. And then Tommy turned around and said, but I want the whole map.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my God. So after everything, and this is Tommy's problem, after everything that goes on with Tommy, he still be on the same shit that got him caught up in the first place.
Because that's him, I guess.
That is Tommy. He's a wild boy, and that's why, at the end of the day, that's why Ghost ain't really fuck with him like that at the end, because it was like, man, you don't never learn. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing.
That's why him and Liliana's connection was the way it was, because that's what she said. She even told the doc, like, you know what, I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm about this life. This what I do.
Right. And the doctor say, okay,
the
I'm out.
like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here.
Right.
And,
I'm gonna get on out of here.
We're gonna call me a ride. And what I don't understand is again coincidence. She packing up. I don't even mean to backtrack. But she packing up and she getting ready to leave. Yeah. And her car that comes is them. How they even know she called an Uber or a Lyft or a driver?
Yeah, yeah. It's wild. It's wild the stuff that they don't even, explain. And it'd be some wild. It's some silly stuff.
Moving right along.
Anyway, so on the total, okay. So if you were gonna rank. And I don't want to include the original Power in this because, first of all, they got way too many seasons. But if you were to rank these spinoffs, there's 3 of them. You got Ghost, which is with Tariq. You got Kanan. And then you got The Tommy Show. Where would you rank, first, second, and third, where would you rank The Tommy Show?
Shit, third.
Yeah. It was definitely the worst. It was definitely the worst one. It's kind of like this. You know when we were kids and we played with Legos, and you might have a box full of Legos, and then you build one little thing, and then you build another little thing, and the first 2 things you build look good, look like what it's supposed to.
They awesome.
And now you left with the leftover Legos in the box, and you got to build something.
Your third project look like what?
It just looked like a bunch of Legos to throw together. And
so that's Tommy.
Yeah, that's Power Book 4. And they were talking about another Power Book that was supposed to come out. They were talking about, I can't remember what the name of it was even. And I think they just need to stop.
And again, this is not my show, but I am going to say I would be truly interested in somebody's opinion about this if it's different. Is it just me? I don't be on Twitter. He will let you know. I refuse to get anybody else's take on anything before I watch it because I like to have my own ideas. But if anybody feel different, please let me know and let me know why. If you think this show is the bomb, if you think they hit it out the park with force, tell him so he can tell me. Let me know because I'm interested in knowing.
Right, and as always, like I always say every show, you can hit me up on Instagram. Wait, where is it? You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can send emails to therudeeducator@gmail.com, and I'll get back with you quickly. But like she said, if anybody thinks that Power Book 4 Force was a quality show from top to bottom, just let me know and we'll talk about it because I'm a loyal. I mean, when it comes to shows, I'm loyal to a fault. When I'll watch it and watch it, but they did not hit on all cylinders on this one. Um, it's just one of those things. You know what I'm saying? Uh, oh shoot, what's up, Mo? Mo came into the chat. Yeah, she said I stopped watching Power before they started adding all the books.
No, Mo, you can't do that.
Well, I understand why though, because even the original one got ridiculous.
It did.
After a few seasons. It started off real strong, and I think it started off with just the original creators having a real story to tell, and they did a pretty good job doing that. But what happens is, and this happens with most shows, the original idea is great and it hits hard and people watch it. But then because it's successful, they get these following seasons.
And they run out of run out of stuff and they start getting ridiculous.
They definitely run out. So. And that's why I love the limited series.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of the limited series because once they do that one season, everybody loves it, and that's it. They don't have the only problem that you have from the limited series is that people are like, well, we need another season. Sorry, that's how things keep their value when they're rare. And if you have one great season of television, then that's all you need. I'm gonna go back to The Watchmen. The Watchmen was one season of quality television, and they said, nope, no more.
All right.
Same thing with Lovecraft Country. People are like, we need to bring it back. Nah. But anyway, I'm going to move on because we still ain't talked about Snowfall yet.
Yeah, I'm like, let's roll.
Yeah, and this is why you on the show, is to talk about Snowfall, really.
I'm like, we can't afford to get into Watchmen and all that.
All right, so we in season 5 of Snowfall. This is the season finale. And when the season started, Franklin had it all. He had, his business, his legit business was going well. The drug game's going well. Everybody riding in fancy cars. They wearing the finest linens and all that stuff. In fact, before Teddy came back, they was partying it up at the pool and everything. It was good times.
His whole squad was up on their game. Everybody was up.
Yeah.
Nothing could stop them. They were all the way up. And
then what happens? Teddy comes back. And he shuts it all down. He shuts down the good times.
He gives them a womp
off top. And then, they were about to get a better price on the coke, and that fell through. Teddy was like, y'all need to shut all this high profile business stuff down. So by the time we get to the season finale, everything is kind of messed up. Louis done went directly to Teddy to get a dope, so that kind of cut Franklin out. What else happened? So Louis and Jerome, they got married. They off on their honeymoon, and they not really caring about what's going on. But Franklin went to Teddy and was like he was out because Louis and Jerome did most of his business, and since they was buying directly from Teddy, then there wasn't really no need for him to continue. So he walked away. And Teddy couldn't wait to tell Louis that he walked away. And even though it kind of surprised them, they was cool with it because they was ready to be top dogs anyway. Um, but Franklin walked away because he thought he had money.
Money. He thought he had $73 million.
And when he started checking his offshore accounts, all the money was gone.
His money was gone.
And of course, like anybody that loses $73 million,
they go ballistic.
Don't you hate it when you lose $73 million?
No. Like you said, I'm mad over 1,600.
So Franklin was mad that he lost his money. His baby mama was trying to console him, but how do you console somebody whose $73 million just went up into smoke?
I mean, hit every offshore, inshore, in the country, out every account he had.
Yeah. So, he's paging people, trying to find out what's going on. He paging Ivy. He paging Teddy. Ain't nobody answering his calls. He does get a hold. Did he get a hold of? He didn't get a hold of anybody at first, did he?
Not at first.
Not
he did.
At first. And so he talked to his mama and his baby mama, and he like, we need to figure out what's going on. Let's look at what we got, so far as properties and how we can make this work because we ain't got no cash. And everything's looking bad. It's looking bad. And so, what does he do? He goes and...
he end up calling. He end up on his way to find out what's going on. So he said, let me go see what's up with Avi. So now he's in the car and he goes and he basically try to go find out what's going on, who took my money, and blah, 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 blah. And
yeah, so he found out, he get to Ivy's place. Ivy's place burnt up.
And that's when he talks to Teddy.
Right. And now keep in mind that these cats that Miss Saint been talking to, they the ones that got Ivy. Okay, they've been all at the wedding. They've been, surveilling the whole situation. Thanks to Miss Saint, they know all the players and all of that. So they got Ivy. They show how they got him in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? Because last episode is when they got him. And they showed him this episode to show that he was still alive. But now they torturing him for information. And so they go and they get the paperwork. And, Ivy like, yeah, well, you still need me. So you need to keep me alive. And they don't. They kill Ivy. He's gone. R.I.P. Ivy. I wish I had one of those
flags.
R.I.P. things that come
to go
in.
Across.
Yeah, I need a better producer because I'm not doing this. The best I can do.
Yeah, you need
yeah,
producer.
That's not the kind of sound that you want. Yeah, that's more appropriate.
A little bit better.
That's when he got shot. It was like, yeah, okay, that might be better. Anyway, so all that stuff with Ivy came to a head. And that's it. Now, when the guy was in the house, going into Ivy's safe to get his info, Teddy shows up. Teddy's sneaking in the house too. He doesn't realize that there's somebody in the house until my guy drops his flashlight. Now, because he heard Teddy come in, he drops the flashlight. Teddy hears there's somebody in the house.
And now both of them thinking.
Yeah, so that whole little scene where they were doing the I Spy shit, you know what I'm saying? That was kind of representing CIA versus, because we've later found out that this guy is actually with the KGB. And I guess a lot of people probably already knew that before she said that because Cuba and all this kind of stuff. But I'm slow, so so it was like spy versus spy. If you ever read Mad Magazine and watched the show, it was spy versus spy. Cause we got one over here doing this thing, the other, and they was missing each other. Teddy never saw him, but he saw Teddy. And so now Teddy, he dude gets out, and now Teddy on the radio, talking to his chick or whatever, asking, "Did you see anybody come out?" And he really busted her out because dude didn't know that she was out there until he heard the radio. Then that makes him turn around. He sees her, and then they cut to Teddy coming out of the house, and now she gone. So that's something else. They never really resolved that in this episode. So that's something that they're not gonna take care of until next season, which is the final season. And so this whole episode was kind of like that. Everything was kind of like left hanging, and that's why, because they know they're coming back for a final season.
And to break down the whole situation about the house. So you have Teddy, and Teddy is on a rampage.
No doubt.
He's not a true CIA agent. He's a contractor. So he's doing things the grimiest ways of doing things. So like Franklin said, ain't no way my accounts are gonna be seized and we ain't got no handcuffs on. So I know it gotta be him. Period. Point blank. So in the meantime, while he know for a fact that Teddy got his money, Teddy's still going around trying to, make sure he got the rest of these, dots connected or people out the way or whatever. Right. So he
tying up loose ends.
He's tying up loose ends. Now, if you ask me, I really don't think Avi was on his radar at that time until Franklin talked to him while he was talking to him on the phone, and he was like, "Where the fuck is Avi? Do you have him?" And he like, "What?" I think that's when he got on his radar. Teddy knows the information that Avi knows about him, so I think that's what drove Teddy to end up going to Avi's house as well. Because okay, so if somebody got Avi and it ain't me, then what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So that is how Teddy and the dude from the KGB ended up at Avi's house. Because if we take it back, the dude that's the part of the KGB, he was torturing him, looking for information, and Avi was telling him, "Man, you ain't gonna find nothing in those files that's around here in this warehouse. Like, why would you keep the keys in the same place you keep the motor?" Now, those were not his exact words, but that's kind of like what he meant. Right. Like, why would you keep the keys in the same place you keep the car?
Right.
So that's what made him leave that warehouse where he was harassing the shit out of Avi and go to his house, which is how they ended up at Avi's house at the same time. And in the meantime, I don't know why I keep calling her this horny surgeon or whatever. That's how she put herself off.
That's what she is. She
anyway.
is horny.
But anyway, that's who he's riding with now. So this really tells you how far off of being a real CIA agent he is. This tells you the grime that this dude is in, because if you look at it, that's who his road dog is now. Her. Like, and she swindled his ass. But anyway, saved his life, but still. But now he got her outside waiting, and that's when the KGB guy ended up knowing that she was there, because he informed her on the radio, like he said or whatever.
Right.
And then that whole situation, they left that part hanging. But then there was the other part. So, Franklin got angry.
Yeah, so Franklin, rightfully so, he just lost $73 million. He calling around everybody. He actually talked to Teddy. And when he talked, he called Teddy when he ran up on Avi's spot and it was burnt up or whatever. And he was telling them, like, hey, we got problems because I done lost my money. You need anything about that? And he's like, what? What? And he playing dumb. Teddy on the phone playing dumb as hell. That kind of pissed me off too. It was pissing Franklin off. He like, man, don't do that. And
Like literally, like, dude,
yeah,
don't do this right now.
you
Like,
know what I'm
for real.
saying? Like Franklin was not acting like hood when the show first started. He was like nerd dude at first, but as the show went on, he got more and more hood in him. And by this point, at the point where he got his money took, I think that was just it. That was the bottom. That was the last straw for Franklin. And then so he tries to page Oso. They say Gustavo, and Gustavo dealing with his own situation because his girl, the kids playing around the house, they crashed the lamp, and so his girl found a bug in the lamp. And she like, well, you know what I'm saying? You need to come home. Let me know what's going on with this. And while he there, that's when Franklin started paging him. So he go and calls Franklin. He go out to a payphone and call Franklin back. And he basically telling him like, man, I hope you make it out, but I can't really help you, bro.
I got my own fish to fry
I got
right
my
now.
own family I got to deal with. And he was ready to skip town. You know what I'm saying? He had his money saved up. So he telling this girl, like, yo, we got to go. And so he goes, and then while he's getting all that together.
Wait, what does she say? We're just going to be on the run like that? And he was like, hey. I got $13 million, baby.
Right.
I got 13. Then her face was like,
oh, okay. Well, I guess you can take
okay, well, let's go ahead and go, me amigo.
Right. and I mean, you know,
happy.
he was, I mean, you know what I'm saying, Gustavo's smart. So he been stashing his cash. And then on top of that, he knew that it was only gonna last for so long. But what happens before he can get to his stash and everything, Teddy calls him and asks for his help. And Gus like, man, look, man, I got some stuff I got to take care of.
Again, I got my own fish
to fry.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I got some stuff I got to take care of. I can't be helping you out this time, man. Like, I'll get back with you later or something. And Teddy's just like, first he was going back and forth with it. He's like, okay. And then when you know it, you know, they show where Gustavo got his stuff at. He ain't had no offshore accounts. He's just keeping his money in storage. And of course, when he gets all the money loaded up and you think he's going to make it out, that's where the DEA rolls up. And they got your boy Gustavo. He's a good one. They're going to probably try to get him to flip, but I don't see him doing that. So it's just going to be him. But we'll see what happens with that next season as well.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, in my head, I think that Teddy got some shit to do with Gustavo being set up. Maybe not.
Maybe
But here's
not.
the other question. Who put the bug in the lamp? Was it Teddy? Is that how Teddy knew he was getting ready to make a move because that bug that's in the lamp? Or was it the DEA who had been following him? Yeah. The other question is who was at the corner circling the block when Gustavo was on the phone?
Yeah.
On the payphone.
So we had that going on, and it does make you kind of question, was that the DEA? Did they already have, you know what I'm saying, did they already have info on Gustavo, and that's why he got caught up, or was it Teddy? And so those are questions that probably will not be answered until the final season. I mean, obviously, because they haven't been answered, and this season's over. So, you know, you got that situation. You got the situation with the KGB. You got, you know, Franklin's money is gone and everything. So, I know this is the part you want to talk about. So who's the other person that Franklin talked to?
Franklin talked to...
Because he paged her, right?
Talking about Louis?
Right.
Oh, yeah. He called Louis. He found out which resort or what bed and breakfast Louis was staying in. He called their room directly to talk to her because he paged them and they were not calling him back. So he literally called the room to talk to him or whatever. And like I said before, like I said in the past, the reason why everybody moved the way that they ended up moving is because from the beginning, when Franklin first started getting his money, the decisions he was making and how he was acting. And so, with that being said, that's how come Louis ended up. She started moving the way she started moving, and when she started moving in her direction, hell, it was working. You see the money that they had, what they come up wasn't
Right.
just big. They come up with strong
Right.
because people fail to realize or they don't remember that she got a whole pipeline going down south. She got her peeps, down south, running shit. She got
Yeah, you can blame the spread of the crack epidemic on Louis and Jerome because they the ones that actually took it outside of South Central
they
and
went
into
down
other
south
parts
with
of the
it.
country. Yeah,
But not to move off the subject or
Nah.
whatever.
we right there with it, and so um, Louis comes and meets Franklin, and at first he's being cordial, and now keep in mind
He lost $73 million.
he lost $73 million, and he explains this in the scene anyway. But it's mostly Louis' fault in the idea that she went to Teddy. Teddy agreed, and that was, that's kind of the downside of Franklin. He had good ideas like this is what we're gonna do, blah blah blah. But what he was lacking on was the actual action. He didn't do none of his dirty work from the beginning. That's been my problem with his character from the beginning.
Let's not leave out the projects. Even
Right. That's what I'm
even
talking
the
about.
hustle he got going on in the projects. He
Right.
ain't touching that either.
Right. That's all Leon. You know what I'm saying? And so Leon is this boy, and they don't have their issues, but he even snapped off on Leon at one time.
Right. That's how come everybody started making their own moves. Like
Right.
we don't know what to do with your ass.
Right. But with Louis, it's different because Louis really put him on. Louis was the one that, even more so than Jerome, helped him get the business started
That's what I said.
and encouraged it. Right. So he's coming to her now like, I need your help. I need you to do this so I can find out what my money is. And she like, look, I just started this thing with Teddy, and I'm trying to make sure it go good because I'm trying to live good. You know what I'm saying, nephew? You can't expect me to do that. And he gets mad, up strap on her. And,
on Louis.
Yeah.
He
and,
pulls a strap on Louis of all people.
And this is, and the line that people was talking about was, I kill you 10 times over if it means getting my money back. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because what Franklin didn't realize is that
She got this dope fiend ex-law enforcement on her side.
right, I can't even, what's his name? Is it Buckley? Whatever.
Whatever the fuck his name
let's just call him fuck nigga.
Call him Sniffles.
Right. He fuck nigga that she got on the payroll or whatever. He got the strap on Franklin, and she said, for the sake of Jerome, I'm gonna let you walk this time. But then what she say? But if I see
you again,
that's
I'll
it.
kill your ass. But okay, so going back to when you said where Louis went wrong at was making her deal with Teddy. I'm gonna say this. She was already trying to deal with Franklin and his bullshit that he had going on back and forth.
Right.
If you remember, the straw that broke the camel's back for Louis, and I'm not even gonna say Jerome because he got a soft spot in his heart for his family, in which anybody should. The straw that broke the camel back for her was remember when he was making that deal, and he was telling them that he was gonna use their money to make that deal for the property.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
After that, that's when Louis was just like,
yeah.
So you came and you asked, and I told you no, and you moved on the shit anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Now, after that, that's when she said she had already been thinking about it, but she was trying to hold off for the sake of, the family business. But after that, she like, I'm a hustler. I put this leg work in, and that's how this little motherfucker gonna play me.
Right.
Again, the same person that I put on when he came from college ain't had nothing to do. She was the one who pulled him in, introduced him, treated him like her very own blood nephew from that all of his life probably.
Yep.
And you pull a strap out on me.
Yep.
I'm like her. The only reason you living is because of Jerome. If I see you again, I'm gonna kill you. I don't blame her.
Yeah. Because at this point, she got to she got to show, frankly, well, you realize I am a gangster, right?
Right.
I'm arguably more gangster than your musclehead ass uncle, who I love dearly. But here's the thing. I will still kill your ass. So this is the thing. So that the last? No, that wasn't the last scene, because what happens after Louis refuses to help him?
Hey, he was like, again, he missing 73 million. He gonna get his money. So what he do? He robbed these mugs. Cold rob them. He don't get some.
Yeah. He walking up, saying, killing people that...
What's the two ladies' names?
I can't remember their names. If you know the two chicks that, they've been hiring to do dirt since last season with Scully, let us know, because I can't remember their names. And I'm usually good with character names, but they don't use them a whole lot. But the two stripper chicks... the two stripper chick killers.
He went back to them.
Yeah, he went and got them to do the dirt, because his baby mama was trying to help with, old Shirley Chisholm was trying to help, and she couldn't. I mean, I'm sorry, not Shirley Chisholm. V was trying to help, and he told her that she needs to just lay low. So he got them to help him out. They went and robbed the club. They went and robbed the warehouse. What else they do? That's pretty much. Oh, and then of course they went to the hospital.
Can't leave that out.
So he could tell Kane that it was Louis that set him up. Now, all of this stuff, that's what makes this, I think, a good finale, because they know they coming back for one, so I guess that part, but it left all these cliffhangers for the next season. And regardless, there's some people that saying they ain't been digging Snowfall lately, and I kind of get that.
I don't get.
I kind of get. I kind of, from where it started to where it is now. It's on
the downswing, but it's not.
Yeah,
bad,
it ain't done yet.
It could be worse, but it's not.
But because they started at a good place, they able to bring it to where it is. It ain't fantasy like Power is fantasy. But it's still like, you know what I'm saying, some stuff that went on. Like the whole thing with Kane coming in doing all them drive-bys on, I don't know if that's how that would actually work. You know what I'm saying? And that was a little bit much. Right. But regardless of all of that, the season finale for this season was excellent. And the last thing that did happen after they robbed Louis and all that is his mom's came to the crib. Huh?
I was going to mention that the original gangster.
Right. The original gangster, Mrs. Saint, comes back by the apartment, and he's telling her everything that's going on or whatever. And what does she tell him? We're going to burn it to the ground.
We're going to burn, hey.
Let it burn to the ground. And you
he
know.
He was like, Ma, I don't want you to feel bad about who I've become. And I am who I am. I'm going to be who I am going to be.
Yeah.
So, at this point in my life, you could turn and you could walk away, because I'm going to be me. I'm going to test some shit up around here, and that's that. And she paused for a minute like.
Yeah.
And was like, son, do you need my help?
Right. Because he hit her with you did the best you could and all that, that whole speech. But she was like, son, I've been working with the KGB.
And he was like.
Yeah, he was confused, kind of like, wait, what? What she said? Oh, I made some friends when I was in Cuba.
Yeah.
That's what she said. And they with the KGB. And
honestly, she the reason Avi dead.
Yeah.
Really, she's the reason he's dead.
That's the way I look at that, too. And I mean, she kind of brought that whole situation to, everything that was going on. But, with her husband being dead, I think she felt like she did what she had to do. So I'm not mad about that. You know, the bottom line is everybody got a job to do. And if you don't do yours properly, well, that's what can happen to you. And I think they ended it there, right? They ended it with that scene. So like I said, like this fifth season of Snowfall, he started at the top. He started on cloud nine, and then by the end of the season, slowly but surely, like it was a few things that it's like that kept happening. Is just like bring him down another rung and bring him down another rung, because when it started, he was like top of the world, running shit. Him and his plug was best friends, and then Teddy came back, shut all that down. That brought him down a notch. And then his relationship with Teddy wasn't the same, so then that brought it down a notch. Then when Kane came through and was robbing him, that even made the relationship between him and Teddy worse, so it brought it down another notch. And then the controversy between him and Louis, that brought it down a notch. Everything kept on bringing him down until finally he was like, I'm out.
I just really think it's unfair that we didn't talk about Leon like he's nothing.
Oh man, okay, that's
like,
true.
I just don't think
All
it's
right.
fair.
Yeah,
because
okay.
Leon is about to be the one that survives this whole
Leon probably the realest nigga on the whole show.
Leon.
Yeah, and we cannot leave that. And they didn't really cover him a lot, but what they did do is
they showed the build up.
Yeah, they showed Leon talking to his people in the projects and telling them like, I'm about to leave this alone, and I suggest that y'all do too. And he was breaking down all the reasons why, so far as they know about the crack thing now. Y'all, they know that y'all out here. He talked about the legislature that they passed. Anybody that remember know that when they passed that crack law, where you get more jail time for having crack than having powder, that changed the game. And he was telling them about that, and they wasn't listening. In fact, his homeboy was like, "So if you gone, then I mean I'm in charge, right?"
And all he did was this, because he knew what type of motherfucker he was.
Right. And they even showed him later when him and Wanda was about to leave, like out on the yard, in the courtyard, drinking Tang right out the bottle. He wasn't drinking wine. He wasn't drinking a 40. This nigga drinking a fifth of Tanqueray right out the bottle. Do you really want to fuck with a nigga that's drinking Tanqueray right out the bottle? Ever.
Not right out the bottle.
Not right out the bottle.
But I do drink gin.
Shooting his gun in the air and everything. It was ridiculous.
Just terrible.
Yeah.
And this the dude that's about to be in charge. And he about to take the reins. Like, are you serious right now?
So the only person that ain't really caught up in everything that's going on is Leon. And I'm glad that they showed at least one person got enough sense to realize, like, hey, all of this ain't worth none of this.
And look how low key he is.
Yeah.
They didn't, after all of the running around he did, paging he did and all of that, did he page Leon? He didn't page Leon.
Nah, because
when he was getting ready to go rob, Lou and Jerome, did he holler at Leon? He didn't holler at Leon.
He knew
when it
better.
Came down to the funds and the money and how he was, telling everybody what they had to get in. He ain't forced Leon like he did with them, because Leon is low key. We don't even know how much money Leon's sitting on. We know Gustavo was sitting on $13 million. We knew Franklin had $73 million sitting around in offshore accounts and shit. But nobody knows how much money Leon got.
Because he still was there.
Because he was still in the projects,
right.
And doing his thing on this the level he on. But he gotta have a stash, right?
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is why he's on his way well.
Nah, he wasn't doing his stuff on the smallest level. He was running the hood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
saying his output was on the lowest level. He
Oh
ain't
yeah,
in no deluxe apartment
nah,
in the sky high.
nah,
You know,
and what was that? What kind? He wasn't even driving the caddy. He was driving the Buick.
that's what I'm saying. He
Yeah,
was doing his shit on the. He was like this with it.
right. And that's, I mean, that's why I said he probably the realest character on the show. In that, you know what I'm saying? He knew what they was doing. Was he started to realize that what they was doing was dead wrong, and he wanted to try. He was looking for a way, to get out of
Because
it.
he kept saying, "How can I be on one side? How can I be trying to help my people, and at the same time, I'm feeding them crack."
Yeah.
So anyway, well, that season finale. Just that one episode, the finale, to me was better than the whole season of The Force. And yes, I said that. And I mean, I wish somebody could change my mind. If you can, I mean, good luck. But I'm interested. And me personally, I'm waiting on the next season of Snowfall to come along because, I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah, we lost something over here, but man, yeah, I enjoy the shit out of Snowfall. So this season, it did a whole lot, and next season they're gonna be dealing with the war, the repercussions, everything from this season. So it's something to really look forward to. Um, I'm hoping that it's just as good as this season was, or even better, and that we see a lot of fireworks and stuff that's going on. But we know that by the end of the season, our heroes, if you can consider them that, going to be dead in jail or something. There's going to be there's going to be some consequences. I hope that Teddy don't get away scot free, but we know usually in these situations, the white guy gets away scot free. And I hope they don't just leave Gustavo, in the wind. I hope they at least show him, in the prison yard or something at the end of the day. And we got to still see what's up with Scully too. We hope Scully drugged the whole wedding.
That was his gift.
And that was the last time we saw him. So he probably not involved with all this craziness that's going on right now because he'll probably ride with Louis and Jerome at this point.
Yeah, probably so.
But we're gonna see what's up with Scully and all the characters next season. And I think we pretty much covered it, right?
I think so too.
Yeah, and we stayed on a little bit longer than normal, but it was worth it. I'm gonna say my last little piece here, like I normally do, and I had to fix that. It was irking me. So this is WETF. This is the I Just Got Off Work show. I'm your host, CB. This is Mrs. CB. And you can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up. Wait, I gotta point to it right. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can send me emails to therudeeducator@gmail.com. I will get back with you as soon as possible. Hey, I appreciate everybody. It is now 7:46 in the morning on this beautiful Saturday morning. Y'all enjoy y'all day. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Bye.
This the part where I play the outro.
He said this the part where.
Whatever. The fuck?